We got a fun-filled show tonight.
I met a boy today.
It's your boy, Coach Career, the General. 860 Army.
She loving my style every time I'm
You ain't need more money, Tito. You could have just invited 6 or 8 you down to Nationals.
I'm around.
When certain people don't get their way or they feel slighted, they feel like they have a right to call us and voice their opinion. You don't.
The hood, we locked the street.
I've never removed a staff to allow a staff to move up.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Now everybody's a personal trainer. We know who the originals are, but now if you look, you can find them in every town.
We are back in full effect.
Yo, you put it on Facebook, dog?
We need more money. Yeah. What's up, everybody out there? Hope all is well. Rocking the spring pink dad gang hat with the Fight State Pop Warner hoodie on. What's good with you though?
Shit, bro. Busy.
You ain't need more money, Tito. You could have just invited.
My fault.
That's a good thing.
Trying to get our shares out, dog. Hold on.
Busy is a good thing, bro. Busy is a great thing. I come to Manchester, see this pizza, I'll put y'all on.
What
you
pizza?
Haven't me up. I'm not smacking because they be talking junk about me in the comments. Yo, Cam, what up, Cam? Son, what's up, brother?
What's going on, coaches? Damn.
Cheery, what up, man? We got some dope topics tonight. For the real football heads, it's going to be an insightful conversation. Those are usually the best ones, too. You know? Usually dope. What you doing, bro? You ready? You ready to get started?
Yeah, I'm ready when you are. I'm trying to make sure I hit all our shares. Make sure it got to where it need to be. I'm just looking because somehow this list has grown. I don't know what's going on my Facebook, bro.
Anyway, it's your boy PH, the Prez, Mr. Above 140. I'm here with my co-host, and we gonna get started.
It's your boy, Coach Career, the General.
Rocking with the New England Youth Football Podcast on YouTube, Facebook. You know, streaming. Hey, we're gonna add a dimension to our podcast soon. We're gonna have an open line that you can call in.
We tried that before, dog. We tried that before.
We're gonna do it this time. I think it'll be dope.
I said we did it before and had the longest podcast in history to 12:30 at night. That was like in 2020, 2022. Right? Yeah, that was way back then, 2022.
So
we had the open calling thing.
Anyways.
What up, Wayne?
What up, Wayne? What's good, Wayne? Anyways, Tito. All right, let's get started. Let's start with the introduction, Tito. Pop Warner has introduced Division 3 down at National Pop Warner. Only though, Tito, only the levels, which is weird. I'd like to know.
Hold on, yeah, we'll get it. We'll unpack that, but I got a couple questions. All right,
so let's go. And it's not a lot of answers out there, but let's go. What's your questions?
Well, number one, mine is why only 9U and 12U. I mean, I guess I would, if I had to take a guess, they're trying to use a couple levels as introductory. That's the only reason it makes sense. But why one odd, one even? I mean, they offer all the levels, so that's somewhat understandable. What up, Cuddy Man? What up, Rodney Myers? I just find it interesting.
I'm completely guessing. I haven't spoken to nobody at National.
Right. I'm trying to just understand why 9 and 12, I guess, is my question. Why just 9 and 12?
Just randomly chose 2 levels. Or if they did it data-driven, which I can't imagine this is true, but if it's data-driven, maybe those are the levels that had the highest number of either players, youth participants down at National roster-wise, or teams that wanted to engage the process. So they said, let's take the 2 highest divisions that we have in the other 2 levels and offer those 2, and 9 and 12 you happen to be it. It's also 1 high, 1 low, which I think is it caught me right. Is 1 high, 1 low, so it gives the little kids an opportunity, older kids. The key is though, what's going to be the parameters around Division 3? Like, what do they come up with on what a D3 standard is? Ultimately, there's going to be people, and there's going to be people that try this anytime you do something. So this is not a knock on Pop One at all. Ultimately, you're going to get people from around the nation that believes they can squeak out a national title game, championship, and go from a team that was at nationals, right, to jumping into Division 3 at 9U to try to squeak off just so they can hoist the trophy.
This is not new though. I remember Pop Warner doing this back in my AYF days. They had a Division 3 before.
Right, no.
They had a Division 3 that didn't go to nationals, right? They didn't
not
go
at nationals, right. Southern used to have D3. We used to play Mid-America. That was unlimited before Unlimited existed.
Right.
I'm talking about.
No, but I'm saying I remember them having a D3, no nationals though. There was a D3 route because I remember like my boys from Santa Cruz over there.
No, they had nationals.
They was a
nationals
D3.
took place for Mid-America.
Oh, even for the weight it was?
Even for the national. At any point, Tito, Pop Warner, I think, always allowed them to do their own, quote, D3. We used to have that in New England. We used to go to a regional championship. But at nationals, we like Wayne said, we got to worry about the guys trying to sandbag. And look, you can do that and I guess be happy, but I guess internally, it'll suck for you. So anyway, let's talk about it, Tito. It says 9U and 12U teams will have a chance to play for a national championship, plus the Super Bowl will debut an 8U age group for Division 2. If you remember, Tito, Division 1, 8U only went last year.
Right.
For the first time ever. Now they're allowing Division. So essentially, they're introducing 3 levels of football, not 3 levels of D3, but 3 new levels down at nationals. I think they're slowly growing, right? Plus, if you remember, they were limited on fields last year, Tito. It wasn't that many fields. They were opening up the other side this year. Right. They had
but it was good. I mean, again, the venue, there was nothing wrong. There was nothing wrong with the venue in North Carolina.
No, but they're opening up the other side. There was another side there.
No, I see. We saw.
And so I think with the fields becoming available, they want to utilize the space since they probably already rented out the whole freaking event. And so, so 8U is now going to be introduced. More teams, more chances, more championships on the line, I think is going to be dope. This year, Pop Warner will kick off Saturday. Now, here's the biggest change for teams that consistently go to nationals, especially teams like mine. Let's start with D1. D1 used to be Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday. This says that they're staying. I was told Division 1 was Monday, Thursday, Sunday. Now it looked like they have went back because y'all remember on the podcast, I told y'all Division 1 was changing. I'm going to verify this, but I was told Division 1 is Monday, Thursday, Sunday. It looked like they changed it. Let me send that text right now. because that's a big change from what we were told. We were told that
Division One looks like Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday. I mean, it makes sense the way they're doing it.
no, Division One was moving to Monday.
Well, it looks like they're blowing it up because I can't see. You got it so small.
No. Let me blow it up. Let me blow it up for those that can see.
No, but you got to scroll up too.
Right there, brother. I got you.
Right. Division One is Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday.
That was normal, Tito. We were told it was moving.
Yeah. Well, it looks like they when they added the D3, they found it with the traditional days that usually was off, Monday and Thursday. Those, remember, we always got Monday and Thursday off.
Right. But we were told
just added D3 to the dead days.
No, you're not listening to me, brother.
I heard what you said.
Regional meeting.
National meeting.
We were told Division 3 is taking Division 1 day. And Division 1 is going on those off days. I had a whole meeting about this with my programs. And online, it looked like it's a little different. So I'll try to get confirmation on this. And I don't want to be giving out false information. But anyway, there you have it, Tito. They also announced the for cheer. Let's talk about this while we're here, Tito. Registration for cheer, Tito. September 1st and reserve their hotels. And for those last year that want to know what that means, y'all know what it means. If you didn't register that day, you didn't get your hotels. Bro, you can hear me now?
Yeah, I don't know what happened, bro.
I think I fell off. I don't know. Yeah. That was me. But anyway, are the days the same for nationals? Hey, Cam, I was told nationals was changing the dates. Actually, your league president, your association president was told the same. He was in the room with me. It seemed like from the website, though, as I look at it, Cam, and I don't know which one is true. The website seemed to have went back to our regular day of Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday. I'll try to get confirmation on that and see what it is. People tried to register and were told there were no 6 people rooms left. Listen, you better be on the computer if you're cheerleading on. They said, all right, so I was just told to give y'all, we don't know the dates to nationals yet. So don't necessarily take what you've seen from me, personal. That's what I just told. But anyway, cheer, just to talk to y'all real quick. If you out there and you got cheer of your president and you got cheer of your football player with cheerleading, if your cheer team don't be on the computer waiting by September 1st, I'm telling y'all right now, you better book. I'm just telling you. We had to do that, and I won't make that mistake again, because it wasn't a good thing. But anyway, Tito, D3, I like it. I think it's dope. I think if we utilize it properly to give very, very small town leagues an opportunity to play together, because we already covered, and we don't have to cover it again. We already covered the segregation that goes on in youth football. So if we can take this opportunity to bring back those leagues into the fold of Pop Warner, though it may not help us playing them nationally, maybe locally they'll give us some crossover games and it'll fill in even more opportunities. Even though we got games, it'll fill in a more opportunity for us to get games. What you think about that?
I mean, it's going to help programs that are struggling maybe find some stabilizing factors. I mean, we know there's new programs have been around that had a shift in population in their towns, whatever. This may give you an opportunity to field teams against other likewise teams. So, I mean, it's not a bad thing. At this point, they had to keep up with the Joneses. Let's not make no quarrels about that. Obviously, AYF did it. So usually how this goes, if they do something got to happen over here. So this is the answer to that. So, I mean, we should have all seen it coming. It's here now. It's good for Pop Water. I mean, let's just see how it all play out.
I saw a lot of people asking what's going to be who's going to be D3. We have no clue. We don't have any details other than what was put up on the website. So that's as much info we got on it. I think it could be a dope idea. I think this gives Pop One an opportunity to recruit a lot more pockets of teams. Like, maybe you could convince a Fairfield County type league, have your league like you got it, but call you D3 Pop One, and it gives you a national track if you want that track. You don't have to take it, but if you want it, opportunity. I think it gives Pop One an opportunity to reach and grab some people and do some things. If it's recruited right, I think it could work, Tito. That's my opinion. I don't know that to be true, but if it's recruited right, I think it will work. All right. So that being said, Tito, let's move to the next topic. Are we training kids like pros too early? Now, before anybody, let me put this up here because I want to make sure y'all understand what we're talking about. Are we training kids too early like pros? Now, I want everybody to take a minute and think. Don't just get emotional. That's not it. I don't want anybody to get emotional. I'm going to talk about this. So what I mean is the culture in which we're wrapping kids around. Maybe it's what it is. I'm not taking a position. Are we training kids too early like pros? So for instance, are kids that's paying thousands of dollars on trainers, Tito? Kids that are the recovery culture. Some kids aren't even recovering their body. Some kids don't have money to sit in ice, do hyperbolic chambers. Any of the stuff we see athletes do from high school and up at a youth level, we seem to be forgotten that should kids' bodies have a recovery period? Because right now, kids don't have a recovery period, especially with national leagues moving up to July and spring going to June. There's no recovery period for a lot of these young men and women. And are we missing that in the NIL mindset, right? Around a 10-year-old, right? Let's talk about the first two. I'll get to the last one. I'll ask you those two questions, then I'll opine.
What you talking about? Our kids? I mean,
so let's start with trainers. And recovery culture. One, are we training kids too early like they're pros? Should kids? I'm gonna give you an example. I thought you were where I thought you was going with this is how there's certain people that try to emulate what the pros and collegiate athletes are doing down here. Like that. That's where I thought you were going with. Well, that's what we're talking about.
Right.
You have people spending thousands and thousands of dollars on trainers.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I don't agree with it. You know what I mean? I don't speak out against it, but I don't agree with it. I mean, I think most kids get better at doing whatever they're doing by doing whatever they're doing. You know, if you're playing basketball all the time, you're going to get better at basketball. If you're playing football all the time, you're going to get better at football. If you're playing baseball all the time, you're going to get better at baseball. So I'm not one that believes in you should be paying all these personal trainers and all that. I think it can create burnout. Again, playing year-round anything ain't for everybody, but clearly, as we've seen with the flag culture, with the spring culture, with the tournament culture, there's people willing to play year-round. So I mean,
so I'm not.
Some people agree with it. Some people don't agree with it.
I'm not asking whether they. Obviously, the desire is there. I'm asking from an adult perspective, from a coaching perspective, from a culture perspective. Are we not? We're the ones that's supposed to be in charge of the space, not parents, not their desires, right? We don't give parents and their desires anything. Are we doing a disservice to our young men and women, and maybe even the parents, by not taking into consideration the recovery period for kids that's doing spring, then fall, and maybe getting 2 or 3 weeks off? That was something that I saw on the internet, and I said, this is an interesting discussion, because we are responsible for controlling the culture, not me and you, but those out there. I mean, the coaches in general is responsible for controlling the culture in the space and making sure the space is good for our communities. Are we doing right by our communities? That was a question I seen posed, and I was like, that's an interesting question that you and I never tackled. So I thought
it is. I don't think I believe kids bounce back quicker, and you got to remember a lot of this, the spring of the flag, or all that stuff is not as grueling as the fall. So I think there is enough time to recover, especially being the age of the kids and the impacts not being the same. But other people are gonna argue the opposite side of the what I'm saying. So I mean, I think there's enough recovery. I don't think. Again, I'm not big on believing in personal training and all that. I believe you get better at if you want to be better at football, play more football. Like I'm of that thought. So I think there's enough recovery for them. I don't think what I do think is happening is there is burnout, but that happens. It happened long before this era as well. When you always do something, you get to high school, realizing when it's for real, it ain't for you no more. So I think it all depends on the kid. It all depends on the parent. Either way you go with it, I'm cool with it. You got to do what you think is best for kids. I don't think that we should be putting pressure on kids the way I see some of these parents doing by thinking it's prep school or bus, or constantly keeping your kid in front of the camera, and then when it don't work out, it's like, then what? Because we've seen that happen too. So I mean, there's always two parts to the conversation. I mean, it's all going to be up to your personal preference. I know you probably think we're burning them out. I mean, I see it a little
lady,
different.
that's your sisters. Sorry. I do think that I do think. So I work with a bunch of athletic trainers. I do think that I do not think. See, I don't care. Anybody doing spring gonna feel how they feel. I do think that it's a disservice that we're doing to the culture with this fall, playing all the way to December, coming back in February, and playing all the way to June just to play all the way to December again. I don't care.
That's not for everybody, though.
I'm not. That's not about desire. I'm not talking about desire, brother. I'm not talking about their desire to want to play. I know that the desire is there, the want is there, the fun is there, the finances is there, all of that. I'll take all of that. The problem we have is the problem my position has, and a lot of people who believe this position has, is we will never know until it's a problem and it's too late. Your position will always be immediate and look like the right position. I get that. It's kind of like if you talk about CTE issue. You're never going to know CTE until the person dies and you look at their brain. Other than that, you just going to call the person crazy, right? And so I'm not talking about burnout. I just think the kids' bodies need to recover. It mentally, physically, People body need to recover. And we say, oh, we used to play. We never played football all year round when we were kids. We didn't do it. I don't give a damn what anybody my age is lying if they say they played football all year. I'm not talking about street football.
No,
It
wasn't even offered till 10 years ago. I remember in the 2008, 2009 era, we tried it in when I was in AYF. We had a spring, but it was like 8-on-8, 7-on-7. There was a version of it out there before, but then it only became a thing in the last 10 years when NEYT's 10 years old. It only became a thing then, and it has grown tremendously. So I mean,
and now we have more and more NFL players saying, I don't, that they wouldn't let their child play football, right? I just think football needs. Look, more than any other sport, I think basketball needs recovery time for the knees. I see a lot of people that grow up who have bad knee problems that play basketball. I want to mention their names. People that went to college, they didn't do well. And so I do think all sports need a recovery period. Football is a collision sport, though. Make no mistake about it. We have this mindset that, the impact isn't as great as the NFL impact. That's false, actually. And I talked to somebody about that at my job. It's false if you say, the impact in the NFL is greater than youth. No, that's not true. If you take a 12-year-old impact and a 25-year-old impact, and you have those people slam into something at their age, at their speed, on the average, those impacts equal the same based on the person's age, dynamic, and typical makeup of most kids. So the impact is identical. It's not less because we think they're hitting softer. Of course they're hitting softer, but they're not as strong. They're not as, developed and everything. So that impact is almost equal consistently to an NFL player getting consistently hit. The difference is the NFL player can go in, like I said, he can walk into a hyperbolic chamber. But again, this is all my position. There is no right or wrong. I'm just telling you what I think. I think that, look, research won't help us because, again, there's no way to know. There's going to be no way to know that a kid, got hurt because he played all year round. Somebody will always equate it to something else. Oh, it wasn't that. It was because his knee blew out because he twisted it. Let's read some comments. Not just kids. Football needs recovery time. Playing different sports is a form of training, in my opinion. Like Phil said, your body has to recover from hits. It will catch up to you eventually. If you play sports year round, does it matter if it's the same sport? Does a kid get recovery playing winter football but wrestling instead? I mean, this is a question. 100%, LJ, I would say a kid gets recovery time from going from football, which is a collision sport, to basketball, which is a contact sport. I just think the two sports are different. My own opinion, don't make it right or wrong. I think it's completely different. The same way I think if you're playing basketball and the amount of stress you put on your knees is different if you're playing baseball. If you swing and you get to run to first base, but if you strike out, you go sit down. I just think each sport provides something different. But again, that's my own opinion. But it's not right or wrong. I will say this. Here goes some stats, Tito. Approximately 56% of Gen Z and 66% of millennials report moderate to high burnout rates when going into high school. That's excessively high. That's 2025 and 2026. More than a quarter of teenagers struggle with burnout, and 81% experience negative pressure in their life. That's what you was talking about, that negative pressure.
Well, yeah, because there's pressure coming from home, especially with
some of that burnout is caused not
pressure,
only that is also pressure. Go ahead.
Kids just want to be kids. I mean, yes, you want to perform and make your parents proud, but at the end of the day, when it stops being fun for a kid, that's when I believe maybe what you're doing may be a bit much. once the kid feels the pressure is unbearable, there's burnout. And then when they don't find early success, especially in high school, and I've seen this with a ton of people when I was playing, when I've watched other kids come through, they get to high school now where you got to manage going to class, keeping the C average. You're at the age where now girls are in the picture. You may have a girlfriend. Sports don't be all that important to you no more.
Yeah.
And kids walk away. So there's a variety of external factors that play into it. But at the end of the day, I think, yes, I think if you ride them too hard early, constantly trying to keep perfecting their craft and their training and playing year round, it could go the other way on you. Do I think that you can get better by mastering your craft year round? Absolutely. I think that's the way too. I think there's a balance. It's up to you as the parent to figure out what's best for your child. Like I said many times here before, you are going to be responsible for how far your child takes this thing. If this is what he wants to do, if football is what he wants to do, the parent, the father specifically, you have to take the bulls by the horn and make sure that you're making the right decisions for your child. Because as we know, this ain't the greatest coach space in the world as far as holistically. We also know that there's been in the last 10 years insurgence of guys that claim to be trainers and saw open space in the market and have capitalized on it. So there's a variety of factors now where things could go the other way on us. As we know, a lot of times these people are listening to these trainers and it's affecting what we're doing. So we know that absolutely I can see kids burning out. I see a specific situation right now where I think there's just way too much pressure putting on a kid that's not even like that. And that's just me being honest. Like, we've been doing this a long time. We know what a kid that's like that. Like, and I can see it ending in a disaster. And it's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
I'm gonna say this. LJ asked the question, and I was gonna go along. He said, "How long has other geographics been doing the year-round thing?" I don't know, but I'll say this. I'm a data-driven person. I need to see data of someone that equated their NFL or Division I college success to year-round football. And again, it may be too new for that to happen so far. Like you said, just barely getting introduced in New England, right? So we haven't seen if this works. We don't know if it works. Now, I will say this. It seemed to be fun. Parents seem to enjoy it. Coaches seem to enjoy it. The coaches seem to like it. That alone says, regardless of what I think, that it should happen, regardless of what I think. That, right, all of that alone, looking at the amount of spring teams, the amount of engagement from coaches, the amount of engagement from parents, the online posts, everybody's having fun with it. So I'm not here to stop nobody from doing it. Regardless if I think it's hazardous, not hazardous, whatever, it's a thing and it should take place because parents, coaches, the culture, and kids.
I think here's a good answer, though. The Southern New London County Mutiny Youth Football just said, spring isn't for everyone. It's the answer for kids who don't want to play other sports, beats them being on PlayStation all day, which is definitely another problem.
But I respect that, but I disagree with it. But it's okay. I don't have to agree with everything. I do not, because I believe what I believe.
If you don't want to play another sport, you decide to play spring. You think that's wrong? If you got no interest in playing another sport.
I do. I think a kid should be training. I do not think they should be playing tackle football.
Well, that's your personal opinion. Yeah.
I just said it's my personal opinion, bro. Y'all doing that. Y'all don't have to get emotional over my words. I'm telling you my opinion.
How many times have we had this conversation 100 times here? We've always been on the other side of it. Yeah. On the other side of it. So it is what it is.
It came up in a different way. That's all I'm saying. Like through the questions that I saw proposed, I thought it was interesting. It came up in a different way. Obviously, we want kids off of PlayStation, but I do believe it could be hazardous to the body. Again, I'm never going to be able to prove it, and you guys are always going to look right. So I'm always going to look bad. Kids do both, which to me is worse. playing football all year round and training all year round to me is even worse. Like, that's in my opinion. I think it gets worse. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Colin, it ain't spring hate. I'm not hating on spring. I got kids that play spring.
See, I knew that was gonna happen. Colin, I'm trying. Nobody's agreeing with me, dog.
I know everybody agree with you. I'm the lone man. I knew that this was going to happen, and this is why I didn't want to have the conversation, because I can't be honest without people feeling like I'm attacking what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Again, I don't give a shit.
LJ just hit you with some numbers there, by the way. I'm looking at his last thing.
88 was yeah, that means a majority of it. Right. I'm right. I agree. But specializing in football don't mean football all year round. We can't play with these numbers to make nobody correct. Specializing in football means they played football and they could have trained in football. That doesn't mean they played football all year round. So let's be factual with data, right? Like, we don't want to play with data. 88% were multi-sports athletes. That other 12% were it's that specialized. That could be spring, it could be training. That's all I'm saying. Again, y'all don't have to start shooting stuff at me, bro. I said that, LJ. The numbers actually support the argument. But that 12% does say it could, like, because I was asking, right? Is there any data out there that shows spring football, playing fall, all helps? That 12% could be. We'd have to break those numbers down and look into it. Yo, now you got the whole everybody shooting against. now I'm taking shots. Yo, listen, spring guys, y'all good, bro. Do your thing. I'm not casting judgment on nobody, okay? I'm just saying, I got kids that play spring football from the Hurricanes. I've never told a parent, don't register for this or don't register for that. Again, I recognize parents are having fun. Coaches is having fun. The culture is loving it. Kids is loving it. And it's a booming business. It's not for me to stick my hat and tell anybody what to do with their child. I agree with Tito. No, Colin. I'm not. But I know that people was going to feel like this when this come up. And I'm going to say something else that's going to ruffle feathers, Tito, because let me say this. I seen Raphael, shout out to Raphael. I seen Raphael do 7 on 7. And listen, flag football, 7 on 7, do not always translate into football, tackle football. I'm going to give you an example, Tito. I won't put it up here. I saw a video on the internet somewhere of a kid playing flag, and the kid was running for a touchdown, Tito, holding the ball like this, juking, all of this, right? And I was saying to myself, this is the problem when they say flag and 7 on 7 don't translate, because you can be successful in those spaces without fundamentals. Let me rephrase that before y'all jump on me. You can be successful in those spaces, Tito, without teaching football fundamentals. And that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? If you can be successful and win championships and not have to teach football fundamentals, you could potentially be teaching somebody nothing that got to do with football, but since the word football in it, they think it's transferable knowledge. Now, it could be, I think, if you're teaching it the right way, but I see too often kids holding the ball with one hand. I see that. I see bad route running, or I call it circle route running, where the quarterback got so many times.
The plays are extended. The plays are extended in a way that doesn't translate to the game that we coach. Right. So it's a different game. It should be considered a different thing. But, we say that too is going to draw the bullets if we say that too. It is. Listen, it's its own thing. And again, it's a very popular thing because I go to this park behind my house here in Plainville. I drive by on Thursdays. There's 150 kids in Plainville playing in the flag league at Norton Park. It's the amount of interest in it. I've never seen nothing like it. I do think tackle will always be around because you're always going to want to have those people to play tackle. But now with flag, it allows all those other kids that were scared to play tackle. It gives them a way to still be a part of the game. It's similar. It's not the same game, but similar.
Yeah, and you know what? Good. Like some kids are only going to play flag all their life and never want to play tackle.
Right.
I think it's dope. I'm, if that's what they want to do, it's dope. And what up, M? Cherry said, weren't they trying to stop that from spring football a few years ago? Like kids couldn't play spring ball and then play Pop Warner because they wanted them to have resting period. I don't think Pop Warner had
There's no way to police it. There's no way to police it. You can't tell somebody what to do with their kids.
Not on the off season.
You can't tell nobody what to do with their kids.
Yeah. I don't think Pop Warner had no rules against that, though.
No.
Not if he's wearing a helmet. That would be considered a freak accident. Kids ride bikes every day. That kid can get a concussion falling off his bike.
Those were a while ago.
I don't even understand what that means. A kid can get a concussion riding a bike. So I guess we should.
The chance of you getting hurt could be anywhere. It could be anywhere.
Yeah, but we don't live our life by that. We live our life in percentages and rules, right? Tito don't go running across a highway because the likelihood of you getting hit by a car is higher. Does that mean Tito gonna get hit by a car? No, Tito could make it, but the likelihood is not. So that to say, oh, he can fall off the bike and get a hit from the helmet. So I don't understand what that got to do with the discussion. Like that's a remedial way of saying a kid should play football all year round. Like that's not. I'm not knocking all year round football. I'm just letting you know my discussion and research. And we've done, again, I don't think people know, Tito, you and I have done this privately for years, like probably a year and a half, right?
No, longer than that. I've been involved with spring football now since with the first Pop Warner in 2021. I've been involved with it ever since. So 2021, 2022. I've been doing it for a while.
Could a kid get a concussion from playing spring football?
No, that wasn't the original
post.
All
right. That wasn't the original post. I wasn't even talking concussions. I was just talking about body recovery. Listen, football is not one of the highest sports, and I've said this, that causes concussions. We have to stop thinking football is the highest sport that causes concussions amongst youth. It's not. If I'm right, I'm gonna Google it because I did a paper on this in my master's degree. I'm about to look it up. Which sport? I think I know among youth causes. I thought I was right. Soccer, football, lacrosse, basketball, wrestling. I thought it was soccer, Tito. It said, Tito, that kids that hit that ball with their head have a higher risk of concussions than kids that play football. Oh, okay. All right.
That's because there's no headgear and stuff. Like those stats are true. Those been around forever, though, if you read the Mayo studies. There's more of a likely of you getting a concussion playing flag soccer and all that, clearly, because there's no headgear. So, yes, there's probably more chances you can bump heads, more chances you can fall and hit your head. That's what they're talking about. And rugby, forget it. Rugby's the game that people should be after, because if you ever watch a real rugby game, football is nowhere near as physical as rugby. And there's no equipment at all.
Just said that right here.
At all.
Hey, but Lance, not if you go to nationals. And also, I want to say that's still playing football 2 times as much as long as, your typical high school player or whatever. That's all. We can move on because y'all gonna get at me. Hey, Alicia, how you doing, Alicia? How's Rhode Island out there? I hope to see y'all this year. Me and the general gonna
What's
pull
going
up.
on, Alicia?
Yo, we got to pull up out in Risma. Go show Risma some love.
Yes, sir.
but less than 10% of people go to nationals. Actually, I think it's lower.
I mean,
it's like 4%. But yeah, I mean,
right.
I got you,
listen.
What's
the next topic? What's the next topic? We've been on this for like 20 minutes.
Way more than that's okay, bro. 10 football games is way more football than a kid. That's a college season. But you know, it is what it is. Let's go to the next topic because I'm outnumbered. Y'all win. I give up. I can't win.
Oh man.
All right, Tito, you're gonna love this one, and I'm gonna throw this one at you. You ready? Everybody's gonna enjoy this one. That's not it. You ready? Here you go. Tito, does the film culture create selfish players, kids chasing clips instead of blocks? Clips meaning video clips.
I let's put it this way. It hasn't helped anything, in my opinion. It hasn't helped anything. It's made things worse. It's caused a lot of divide in the community. As we know with the All-Star game, I mean, there's a lot that comes with it. I think there's a way to use clips and highlights. I think that's another space, in my opinion, that people saw opening and attacked it with reckless abandon. And now, yes, you got kids that will leave your team because they're not getting enough touches, basically enough highlight reel shots, and it will cause a divide in your team. So, yes, I think it's absolutely it hasn't helped with a we and team type deal. It's more of an I and team and how many touches I'm getting and how many clips I can throw on the internet to show people my kid is it. I mean, it hasn't helped what we do alongside with the training space and everything else. I don't think it's helped push the culture forward. I think it has put us in a place where it's created a lot of animosity. You kids wind up leaving teams over it. There's just a lot that comes with it, in my opinion. There's a lot that comes with it.
I agree 100%. I think the film culture, though I get it. I'm not a parent.
I mean, you have to do it if you want your program to be relevant. We're in the space now that you have to do it. I think there's a way to do it. I think the way some of us do it is the way to do it. I think when it specifically becomes about one kid, I don't think it helps a team situation by any means necessary.
I agree. I think that the problem we have is you have parents hiring videographers. I like to put stuff in scenario based evidence. Let me do that. I'm getting to educational, but let me put in a scenario base. Phil Bryant hires Valadia Bryant, a videographer for a game that Tito is coaching on Saturday. You see the problem with that? I hired a videographer, Tito, for my child, but you're calling the plays. So now I give I'm giving you an unrealistic expectation, Tito, that my $150 is now in your coaching hands. Because if Tito calls a different game than he called last game, guess what, Tito? My child had 4 touchdowns last game, 3 catches, amazing on defense. But this week, Tito go, you know what? I scouted the film. I know we passed for 4 touchdowns, but they got good cornerbacks. They're weak up front. We're going to run all game. So now I paid $150 and Tito's not passing the ball. Tito's doing what's best for the football team. But Tito isn't doing what's best for my child. I have to have a conversation with Tito. That's not right, Tito. My child didn't get the ball. Say, Phil, they're good up front. They have the 2 best cornerbacks in the league, but they're weak up front. I noticed that if you run off the right side, that D lineman and that DN is backing up. So I kept hitting them right. That's why we won 28 zip. I know, but dog, I paid home $150. My child didn't get no highlights. That's the problem with it right there. That's one definitely one. Coaches get an unrealistic expectation that we don't even ask for. That's given to us because everybody wants to highlight. And Tito, sometimes the kid now knows that the highlight is on him. So you know what starts to happen? Now I'm on the sideline, and my daughter don't even want to play for Coach Tito no more because now she mad at you, Tito. She knew the camera guy was over there. She knew I hired him. She was in the car when I was talking to him on the way to the game. Yo, yeah, shoot my daughter, bro. She had 4 touchdowns last week. Blah, 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 blah. She like this. She the best looking wide receiver in the world and ain't getting the pass. It becomes a problem. Let me rephrase that. It could become a problem if it's not done right. Go ahead.
What's up, Coach Mark Renard, my man?
Mark, what up, bro?
East Bay's finest. Listen, we've seen it. We've seen it cause dissension amongst teams. We've seen it cause dissension amongst men that were friends before, where because my kid's not getting touches now, I'm gonna take them and I'm gonna hood hop with them. So we know that it another one of those things that kind of hurt us, but again, when used properly, it has helped us too. So there's no way to have one without the other. It's going to continue to exist. It's going to continue to be a problem. I guess you got to try to build a strong enough culture where that's not going to matter. Like, we're here for a certain purpose. We're here to grow together. I mean, there's a way to probably handle it. Me, I'm not big on bringing the freelance, whatever they call themselves now, to come to our games. If you want to make videos of your kid, you as the parent, again, that's something that you should control. You should control that way. There's no expectations.
But we know parent comes with expectations, Tito.
Yeah,
like we know it's no parent in America that's coming with no. Hey, I will say this: y'all already know what they got to do at the big house if you want to record on my phone. I put it out there.
You got to pay.
Y'all already know how I don't care what nobody says. There should never be a videographer making thousands of dollars off your kids and your program gets zero. Make that post when y'all wake up in the morning. I don't really give a damn. But y'all gotta stop letting them control your narrative.
Yeah, no, they can't. They're not
gonna
be able to
be something given back to these children. If you're going to shoot 7 kids at 250 and you just get to walk off, don't get me started on that. But so Tito, help me with this. Let's help the people, Tito. Tell them what you think the proper way is to go about getting into the film culture and doing it properly.
Well, I mean, when you take in the film, obviously you don't show them like the whole formation and play. You show them the outcome of the play, and it should be a shot of all 22, so it's not so personal. Now, obviously, whoever scores the touchdown or makes the big play, they're going to be the highlight of that one particular reel. But if you're doing it the right way, you get multiple. I talked to a dude when I used to use Singletary, matter of fact. Singletary's a good cameraman, even though he doesn't brag about it. But he told me, you take all these shots, but you're only going to select this many that you're going to reveal. You get what I'm saying? And I think there's a way to do that where you keep all 22 involved. And then it doesn't seem so personal. When it gets to be about one person all the time and they're completely.
But the problem you got, Tito, with that theory is you have individual parents hiring that video.
I understood, but again, if everybody was doing what you're doing and what we're gonna do at Bell City, you ain't gonna just be able to come over here and make $2,000 and walk away. Some of that's getting kicked back if you want to shoot on this field. If you want to shoot on this field,
that's out of respect.
And I think everybody, that's game you giving, Cash. Y'all need to. You need to listen to what we're saying.
People don't understand business. Name a business you can go in, make a bunch of money from, and they have no business with you at all. You can't. And so we have convinced ourselves, we have let videographers tell us, I'm not coming to your field if I got to shoot and give you back some money. Yes, I'm allowing you to make money. Think about it. I'm allowing you to make money. Shoot from the stands then. You want the best shot to provide them with the best quality. Do good business. I don't understand why people have a problem giving up money when it's like I do when any people all-star game. I don't have a problem paying people for anything that have helped me accomplish my business. Like Aaron, look, it just said, business is business. Everybody eats. That's just normal business. Only small-minded businesses believe that I should make all the money and you should get nothing. I just don't even know where that thought fathomed from. And I know it's the change, right? I'm changing the mold, right? And you have this saying, Tito, the first person through the wall get the bloodiest. So it's always going to be posts about me, posts about memes, and there'll be side conversations and, you know, those sucker subliminal posts that go out there about, oh, I ain't doing this or I'm not doing that. Cool, you just not shooting.
Don't do it. You ain't got to do it.
And don't let me be the vice president of a playoff game. You ain't shooting there either, right? Like, you're not shooting if these kids aren't getting something back. I don't care if you like it. That's just what's going to happen, dog. Because these programs, I mean, I don't just get to go in and make a bunch of money and do nothing. Some parents are okay with 0-8, but their kid got the 8-minute highlight. That's true. That's a problem. That's a problem, Rodney. I mean, that right, really is a problem.
Again, and that becomes about the self. And I think this goes hand in hand with the first conversation. That pressure you're putting on that kid now to always have to perform at that level leads to what you were talking about earlier. You know, just being too much.
Nas, is this Nas that played for me? Learn how to film your own child. You might not always have access to a videographer at the game.
Well, that's what I was saying. That's another thing.
Too much technology out
there.
Pharrell, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is, Terrell. That's exactly what it is. You know, people got to start investing in their own child. Listen, you got, and again, there's people that do dope work. Tyree does dope work. Like, I want to be clear. There's some people that do dope work and you get your money's worth. What'd he say? There's people that do dope work so you get your money's worth. What I'm saying is everybody who hired a videographer just don't have an expectation. You know that it should come up. It should be contractual. I think, you know.
No, it shouldn't be an expectation on the coach. What you're talking about is you can't. If your kid don't get the 8-minute highlight reel or the 3-minute highlight reel, whatever it is, you can't. You don't have the right to go up to the coach and tell him, "Yo, my kid need more touches. You know, his touches ain't right because I can't get no video footage." And we know this goes on to the point so bad that they'll leave the team, you know, mid-season and go somewhere else. It's just. I don't know.
This brings me to a point, and I'm gonna. I don't see the
positive. I don't see the positive in
it. I want to ask somebody. I want to ask the parents, coaches out there. Should parents go to a team with an expectation of the role their child is going to play, or should they pick a team that they like and just let their child go earn it? You just made me think about that. Let me back that up real quick, because this is going to get deep. I don't know if we have enough time. We might want to save this. Here's my question again, Tito. Should parents come to Bell City saying, Tito, I got a running back. Do you need a running back? Yeah, I could. We never going to say no to a running back. Yo, who's your starting running back because I want my son to play? Should that conversation even take place, or should it be, Tito, I like Bell City. I'm signing my son up. Let my son go do his thing.
Let your kid compete. Absolutely.
Parents, but what do y'all think? Do y'all think y'all got a right to at least ask those questions of what your son is going to play on the team, what's going to be his role, etc.?
Well, let me ask you this: Would you be okay with them if they ask you what offense and defense you're running? Is that a conversation you should have with them?
I'm okay with that conversation. I'm okay with. I'm not going in depth with nobody about what I run. You know me. I'm a multiple guy. I'm not neither.
Like, to me, that's not an appropriate question to ask if you're entertaining coming here.
Well, I think it's appropriate in a sense for me. I'm gonna give an example, and this is hypothetical. Let's say you go, yo, my son kicked field goals 50 yards, and I go, yeah, but we don't kick field goals. You might want to know that. Right, if my son is if I said to you, yo, what's your base offense? Like, if I'm having a football conversation with you, not a dumb parent.
Yeah, but that's not a conversation you would have with any other parent. So why would you get? That's not a conversation you would have with any other parent.
I have told if a parent joining my particular team go, yo, you know, I'm interested in registering. I got a son, he play wide receiver. What offenses you run? I'll tell him, yo, I run power I heavy. That's been my base over the last couple years. I do pass. My pass percentage is probably 30% max. May go up depending on what I got. I don't mind having those conversations. Because I think it's okay for me to have that. What I'm not doing, Tito, is I'm not sitting down with a parent going over my offense. I'll have a conversation with you because I don't want you to come here with an unrealistic expectation. I don't want you coming here, Tito, thinking I'm running the ball 1,000 times or I'm passing 1,000 times. I'd rather just wean you out by just telling you up front. Because what's going to happen, Tito, is if I never have these conversations, now me and you arguing during the season. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going to happen. And I don't want to do it. I want to know, do parents think it's appropriate to have? Not me and you as coaches. And I'm going to be honest, I've never had that conversation, Tito. I'm thinking, would I have it? Probably in the right situation, the right scenario, not at the football field, maybe in my own time. If you call my phone, like it got to be right for me to do that. I'm not about to be at no football field, or I tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to make you feel like I'm courting your child by telling you what I run. I won't do that. Because once I do that and you're playing for me, now you're going to come to me with expectation. But if you see a kid kick a 50-yard field goal, you now.
Oh yeah, now we all. I mean, those twos make a difference,
bro. So I was just hypothetically.
Yeah, those twos make a difference. Like that's not, you know, a field goal. You tell me your kid can kick field goals, I'm gonna look at it and I'm gonna tell you, yeah, we're kicking field goals. I mean, that's a different conversation.
And so I just wonder if parents think it's okay to have that conversation. What offensive defense do you run is one of the least intrusive questions parents ask these days, unfortunately. That's true. It's true. You know it ain't going down in Bell City, though, LJ. The least intrusive question is not happening in Bell City. I can tell you that. So they better find a lesser intrusive question than the least intrusive question, because that ain't happening. I can tell you that. I just wonder sometimes that I think parents think that is a conversation is okay. When you said it, I was like, we've never touched on the fact that parents think that conversation is okay. They really do. Like it baffles
right, but that's one of those situations that to me is how dare you? How dare you don't. You don't know the time we all put into this.
Would you take it differently if it was Coach Phil with his
son?
Bro,
I don't think, again,
a parent
my opinion,
who never...
Decide the conversation I'm on. I don't believe it's appropriate. It's not. It's not when you got to prove, not when the body of work like speaks for itself. And there's a lot of people in this space that have done very well for a long time. I don't think if you're going to a winning program, right? And this coach been winning for 20, 25 years. It's not appropriate. You're bringing your kid because you want him to be part of a winning culture. You're hoping he's going to get developed and be able to take some of these transferable skills to high school and on to maybe further. That's not a question. That's not what's important. What's important is, can you be there every day? Can you meet the commitment requirements? Are you going to work every day? Are you going to take your craft seriously? You know, are you not going to quit? Are you not going to give up? Are you not going to run at the first sign of adversity when you realize you may or may not be starting? That's the things that are important about that we've lost in this space these days, especially now, because everything's about everybody runs to the hottest team. Nobody wants to sit there and grind it out no more. Nobody wants to sit and have to earn a position. They want to give it to them up front. So to me, to cut that right at the root is you don't get that conversation with the general at all.
No, listen, you said something that's key, and it's if you want to be part of a winning culture and you see that winning culture, Go to that winning culture and take the transferable skills. Stop going to that winning culture and trying to
act like you change shit
to what you want, because a winning culture is not going to change or alter for you. It's just not.
It's not.
Parent coaches.
It's not. And how many times of us that have developed that culture have you seen the supposedly quote unquote star player leave, but the program still sustains at a high level?
Yeah, 100%.
That one player will not. That one player will not make or break your culture, your program, your team. A lot of times when you get rid of them, the team grows. You get what I'm saying?
Yep. Because when you got a winning culture, winning coaches teach the next man up. That's part of a winning culture. Right. Winning coach has multiple players that can do multiple things at multiple times. And if somebody goes down right, Tito, and if you practice right, like winning coaches do, everybody's learning. Right, your running backs are learning interchangeable
practicing. Listen, when you're with a good program, if you bring your kid to a good program, you're not paying for the games. What you're paying for is your kids learning how to practice and compete and practice and how to practice. Because too many times I'm seeing even practices, 95% of them absolutely suck. And it drives me crazy because the most important part of what we do is teaching kids how to practice. You practice 400 times more than you play throughout your. I mean, the number's astronomical. Usually it's 4 or 5 practices to one game. You do that over the course of your life. Where does it make sense to be? Where should you be most efficient? At practice. That's also the separator of what's going to get you on your high school team in a good position. And if, God willing, you make it further, it's going to be the ultimate separator where you're going to do in college. Trust me.
I'm going to say something controversial. Not that I'm saying this should happen, but if a child leave your program with nothing other than going into high school, knowing how to properly practice, it was a win for them. It was a win. They may have not gotten faster under Tito. They may have not gotten football 101 smarter at their position. But if they know how to show up to practice on time, be dressed, ready to practice, understand what the responsibility is, they're locked in. They go to
how to compete. Another part of that conversation, competing. It's knowing how to compete.
Practice is all about
and carrying it with etiquette. If you don't win the rep and he gets the best of you to rep, you don't go and fight him. You get back into the line. Your next rep, make it better. You know what I'm saying? That part, parents, that's another part where the parents have interfered. They don't let their kids compete. They don't let them get their ass whooped and figure it out. They intervene right away. They don't let them figure it out.
Let's get even worse, Tito. They don't give them They don't give Tito a chance to even teach them for practice. You know why? Because practice started at 6 and they dragging ass at 6:15. That's the first thing. You haven't even taught your child. You show up at 6 o'clock, be dressed.
Not even 5:50.
You don't get to show up at Alabama University practice 30 minutes late and be like, oh, yeah, if he has used an excuse throughout his youth years, he's going to use excuses throughout high school. If he finishes high school, if he even gets the opportunity to go into college, it will eventually stop with the excuses. Parents, what Tito just said is important, but before you get there, you have to start with one basic thing. Show up to practice.
Ready to go.
As consistent as you look. I get it. They're kids. You got multiple kids. They're not coming from their college dorm to practice. I get it. But you can't be tardy 50% of your youth football season. You cannot be tardy 40%, 30% of practices. You cannot be late and then got to get dressed while everybody's practicing, already late, and now you putting on your cleats and then thinking you can hold anybody to any standard after that. You can't. And I'm talking to the parents. Parents can no longer hold a program to a standard when they're delivering their child like that. At some point, the program, a good program, is going to find a way to move on, keeping your child on the team, but finding a way to move on without them. That's when they start to see their sons time start going down. And it's like, yo, Tito, my son on me, you don't even give my son the ball no more. What Tito don't say to y'all, and I'll say it, is, yo, you bring your son late every day, bro. I get to my first. I'm done with my first 15-minute period in which we're running those plays. And when he comes, we're on the defense, or we're on the special teams, or we on a different circuit. So he's missed this circuit all week. I can't put him in the game. He missed literally us learning this circuit all week, and that circuit is what I started with in the game. So I can't put him there. They don't. That's the deeper football 101 conversation that you got to have with people that get it. And if they don't understand that, Tito, they're never going to get teaching their child.
They're not going to make it. That's going to lead to burnout. Again, it's going to lead to burnout, because then you get to high school, and when it becomes more of a job that you have to manage, along with going to school every day, along with keeping your GPA, it's too much for them. But again, we're failing miserable down here that we're not even giving our kids a chance, because we're not teaching them how to practice correctly, and we're not teaching them how to compete correctly, how you should. Soon as you see, now we're in the culture, soon as you see your kid struggling, or he may not be the man on the team, you hood
I'm
out.
out. Go find a team.
Yeah, you hood out. That's the answer. I'm going to go somewhere. That's not helping him. You're not letting your boy see who he is in this world, especially with young minority men. You have to throw them in the fire to see who they are in this world. Are they going to kill or be killed? And I don't mean that literally. The point is, are you going to be able to hold? Are you going to be able to stand on your square, always pick your head up and stand honorably, or you going to tuck your tail and just let it happen to you? Like, that's a real thing when it comes to raising boys. You have to let your boys see who they are in this world.
Yeah, I think it's a fine line between finding a program that's good for your child. It's not a fine line. What the problem, Tito, is people are never see. I think too often when people leave programs and they break up and there's always beef, too often the way people leave is always the problem. It's never that they left, in my opinion. I don't really care.
Right, you could leave. And we could just
how you leave a program. You don't gotta
part ways. We could part ways amicably. There's ways to part ways. It's like when you break up, you get to a certain point where you break up with so many women. There should be no turmoil when you leave. You're going your way, I'm going mine. That's where it should end. It gets to a point. It happened in my life. It got to a point where breaking up ain't a thing for me. The shit fizzled out. You walk away. It's the same thing. When it don't work out with sports, you don't have to burn the house down on the way out. And that happens all too much too. You don't have to air out all your dirty laundry. We don't have to hear all your every emotion of how you're feeling in this moment.
And coaches don't have to try to take nobody or don't have to shit on the program that they left.
Right.
Like that's the key. Like the biggest problem is, and you know what? Take the kids. I'm fine with that. Any kid that wants to follow a coach should have that right if they believe in that coach and what they do. Cool. But I'm talking about bigger. Don't leave Bell City in the Hartford Hurricanes. And all of a sudden that you're leaving, you want to tell everybody Tito was stealing money the last 4 years. Because you didn't give a damn he was stealing money the first 3 years. You only tell it now because you're leaving and you want him in trouble. Right? Like, to me, we have to stop that, because what happens is when parents start to do that, Tito, what's really happening is they bring that, again, we talked about the culture in the program. You bring that to another a culture. I'm going to tell you right now, luckily for us, the Hurricanes so self-sufficient, none of that stuff intrudes us. I've had coaches leave and try to take a bunch of kids. Didn't work. I had coaches leave and try to take a bunch of kids.
When you provide a culture that people believe in, that's rooted in the community, you've done all the right things, none of that can phase you. Right, the problem is when you compromise those pillars you stand on. That's where the problem. That's when you compromise the pillars that you're built on. When you start compromising what you built your foundation on, and you start playing in the middle. When you play in the middle, you're gonna get pushed to one side or the other. and it's not always going to work out for you. You get what I'm saying?
Look, and again, y'all got to understand the difference. We're not saying don't bring new kids into your program, don't recruit kids to your program. We're saying don't compromise your program's integrity when you're recruiting kids. I've never recruited a kid, Tito, and promised them prep schools, a prep school.
We've seen these people go to multiple programs.
Trainers are going to train their kids when I'm done.
You see these people that have played with 5 teams in 5 years, and all 5 teams they left in 5 years. There's some type of blowout. Blowout at the end of it.
We know a couple.
It doesn't help. Again, when you're looking for these programs for your kid, find a program that's going to stand on the morals that you believe in as a man or a mother, that you think is quality education for your child, and that's where your child needs to be. Now, if he's not the star on the team, you need to leave him there and let him figure out who he is in this world. He's either going to figure it out or he's not. Now you know.
I would attest to this, parents. If you may be saying Tito and Phil out there rabbit mine. I'm sorry, I cursed earlier. I didn't mean to curse. I gotta stop cursing. I don't curse that often. But you may be saying Phil and Tito is out there rabbit mine, right? Let's say you saying that. Let's start to do this. And I think we should make a rule in Pop Warner, Tito. This should be a rule in youth football. If I register for Bell City, that's where I play for the year. I can't play for nobody else.
It should be, but there's no way to police that either. That's how it should be. I believe that. I believe that.
We can enforce that easy.
I believe that's where it needs to go.
I'm going to tell you why. I think it teaches accountability. It teaches the parents something. One, you might have made a bad mistake. Yes, mom, dad, you know what? Live with it. But guess what? Make it better. Your son is 10 years old. He could play at 11 somewhere else. Look, at 13, whatever. Let him go bang out. Y'all out. I'm not talking about those levels. I'm talking about 8, 9, 10, right? You make a bad mistake and you register for a team, finish the season. Teach your child, if you start something, you finish something. Teach your child, if you start something, you finish something. Right? You should not be able to play, Tito, because I'm going to be honest. If you show up on the first day of practice and Tito's watching Phil practice, guess what, Tito? You can already tell before a game happened. This is not this. We say this all the time. Tito can show up to any practice in America for 1 week and tell if this is a good program or not.
You can tell the first day. Usually. A lot of the times you could tell within the first 2 hours, and that's why I tell people, when you get new parents, your first impression of those parents, you better be on your first impression of impressing those parents. You better be impressionable, because within an hour, you're going to know if you're going to retain them or not. Within an hour or so.
Listen, great discussion. We went well over what we wanted to go over. I could keep going on this topic. This is a good topic. I think we're giving gems. And lastly, let me say this. Oftentimes, when y'all hear us talking to parents, we're not talking down to you. We're giving you game from the inside. A lot of the parents aren't on the inside. So too often, I notice in the comments, every now and then, even on our posts, we'll say, oh, you're always talking to the parents, but what about the coaches? We're coaches. We always talk about our internal problems. What we try to do is bring parents to our world and say, parents, here's how you navigate our world. From somebody that's been in the game, how long? You always know how long we've been in the game, 20 plus years.
Yeah, bro, we both got started the same year. That's how we met each other. Like,
I know.
We always say we're gonna tell you the story of how we met each other 25 years ago, but I want somebody to interview us. We done asked a bunch of people, nobody really got it together. I want somebody to come on a podcast and interview Tito and I and ask us any question. Any takers? We need to set that up for next week. Before we go, though, Tito. Before we go. Oh, we were supposed to hold on. We can't leave. We got to give people what they want. The head coach's announcement. We were supposed to do the head coach.
Just when Mr. Korea said it, Coach Bryant was on the job. Welcome to the 2026 NEBCS head coaches. If you're interested in coaching, you see these coaches, you have to hit them up. You see the coaches. If you look in the coach, get in contact with me. I'll put you in touch with the coaches. You can tap in. All coaches in Connecticut, regardless of who you are, where you from, if you're interested in coaching in the All-Star game, giving time back, putting on for your state versus Mass, please tap in with Tito. Just inbox Tito. He'll put you in touch with the coach. Y'all get it going. The head coaches, they're each. So we're looking. This is 2, 4, 6, 7 teams. We're looking for about 70 staff members. Coaching comes with a coaching shirt. And 70 staff members is not a huge demand. Well, we talk about 10, maybe 10 practices, Tito, if you lucky. If we don't get
that, if you lucky, I mean, depending how
we
you
say every year 10, but we don't get 10. We're talking about 7 to 10 practices, and then an amazing game going down July 11th at Bloomfield High School. Y'all already know we bringing back the Teletron and everything. Destiani, I got you. I'm gonna get you the hat and the shirt. They're gonna be for sale on the website soon. I'm gonna send a link. But head coaches, tap in, man. We want assistant coaches. I know some staffs is filling up, so if you're really interested, right? Hey, y'all can't see.
Blow up the flyer. They say they can't see it. Blow up the flyer.
Hold on. Let me try this. Hold on. Let me
Your boy caught a Charlie horse, bro. Right now during the podcast, bro. A bad one. Damn.
All right, let me try to share this again, y'all. I'm sorry. Let me see. Let me share this again.
Yo, Hakeem, I tried to hit you already, brother. You got my number.
Hakeem, tap in with Tito, yo. All right, hold on. Let's blow this up. Man, that might be a little too big.
Let's start with 7U. 7U, we got
7U, we got Jacquel, Coach Jacquel, 7U head coach. Just so let's give him background history as we go through. Jacquel was the head coach of the Hartford Hurricanes 8U that made an amazing run that went down to nationals. I believe Jacquel also has as an assistant coach, coaches from Danbury on his staff, Meriden on his staff, coaches from, I know New Haven just tapped in today, so he's going to be tapping in with New Haven. So it's going to be well-rounded. If you look in the coach 7U, I think Jacquel might have some more open positions. I don't know, but tap in with me or Tito. Coach Sean,
we play a year back, so whatever you played last year is what you played in the All-Star game this summer.
Right.
Just to clarify for you guys.
So the age you were last year football season is the age you are for the All-Star game. Now, everybody, 8U head coach, we all know Coach Sean. Most people know him from West Road. Offensive coordinator for many years, playing in the national championship. He was the head coach of 8U last year. He also took his team to regionals for West Haven. He was down at 8U last year for West Haven. Coach Sean got Coach Sam on his staff. He got Coach Rachel. Coach Rachel Torres is on his staff as well. I believe he got other Meriden coaches, and he got a wide variety of coaches as well. He also got Half out of New Haven. I believe I saw him on the list. I believe Half was on his list, and he'll be coaching as well with Coach Sean. Let's go 9U head coach, Coach Drew. Coach Drew from Meriden. Go ahead. What you say to
this is Coach Drew. No, I'm just saying his name.
Coach Drew from Meriden. I don't really know as much as his background, but let's go through it. He's coached for multiple years. I know that he coached for New Britain Pal some years ago.
Yeah, he coached with me in Meriden. He coached with me in Meriden. He's I consider him one of my guys. You know what I'm saying? And he was worthy of the position. He's also the Intruders head coach at that age level. The Intruders head coach at that age level. So I thought that was this year, especially the way things went. That was my pick. You know, that was one of my picks.
And so if you
obviously at 10,
go ahead, finish. So I don't know if Coach Drew has his staff all together, but I know coaches are still tapping in with him, and I put him in touch with some coaches, and he working it out. I know Coach Fred from the Hartford Hurricanes is going to be helping him out. Also, somebody else just tapped in, and I put him in touch with Coach Drew. I don't remember. Coach Drew, you know who it was. Anyway, go ahead, Tito. 10U.
Nah,
you was about to say something.
Obviously, the vacancy this year was at 10U. Nobody seemed to want it, so to make the game go, I wound up at 10U. I obviously have a 10U team now in the spring, so we're hoping to have a great draw at 10U. I got a couple people in mind on the staff, but there's still some positions open. If you're interested in helping with 10U, just hit me in the inbox, and we'll get to chopping it up.
And y'all already know 10U our level, right? 10U our level. We got dogs in 203 and 860 and 10U. It's no reason. Yes, Coach Brian from Hamden. Hamden just tapped in with Drew at 9U, so Hamden coaches is going to be helping out as well. If y'all know one thing, at the 10U level, it should be baby food versus mass. Rodney Myers got me saying that. And I spoke to Coach Best today, head coach 11U, Coach Rob Best. Y'all knew his body of work last year. I think those guys, they did an amazing job coaching last year. In the All-Star game, I think most people know Coach Best. He's the owner, CEO, president of the CT Pride. And so I think his body of work speaks for itself and everything he's doing out there in Fairfield County with and all over the state with the CT Pride. All right, newcomer to the All-Star game, well deserved, Coach Garrett. Most people don't know Coach Garrett. Y'all probably do because he's been helping out with the All-Star game since the inception of the All-Star game. But Coach Garrett is the head coach of the New Haven team that went on the Nationals, and they went undefeated. And Tito, I would say they had one of the most impressive showings and down there, especially against that NEO flight team that I thought was just out of this world before Gilbert shocked the world. So Coach Garrett is taking on that. He got a lot of staff members are starting to put together. I did speak to him, but if you interested, reach out and then we'll plug you in. And last but not least, I think most people, damn near everybody know Coach Larry Myers and his body of work over the last 3 years, and what he's done with taking teams to the national championship in D1, et cetera, et cetera. And what's the match theme? I'm about to tell you. Drum roll, please. I'm not going to tell you. I'll wait till they roll it out. I just found out today what they're going to be doing. I think it's going to be dope. I think it's going to be exciting. And I think it's going to be a jersey battle this year. I mean, we'll win. We're always going to win that battle. We're always going to win that battle. But I think it's going to be a dope jersey battle. And our coaching shirts is going to be dapper this year. They beat us at the coaching shirt game.
We got to get the finish. We got to get the finish.
I'm on the job, bro.
We got to get forget the buckets. We gonna get the new errors, bro. We gonna get the new errors this year.
I'm on the I got to get my coaches game up. But the coaches gear is dope. It's dope. So there you have it. All-Star game. Now, Tito, I want to say something because something's been irking me. And I have to say this. I hear all the time, Tito. You hear all the time. Yo, we can play with the OG Ducks. We can play battle and we can do Y&C. All we have to do is what, Tito? Come together. Put one team together. We could go down, and I'm telling you, we could play in these tournaments and travel all around the nation. And then we do an all-star game. And we ask everybody to come together for a greater good. One day to do everything they can to have fun for these kids. Everything they can to get coaches from around the state. All love, no hate, no nothing. And you always get people that don't want to be involved with the game.
Right, they try to boycott the game.
They hate it and they don't like. So they conjure up hate and negativity. And every year God comes through and he smashed those people. And the all-star game gets bigger. Listen, what y'all claim y'all want nationally, we put on right here with an opportunity to do it. Now, I think I'm going to do this one year, Tito. I'm going to take the Connecticut All-Star team. One team. I'm going to start off with one team. I should do this year. And I should finance them a trip to go play in the YNC. One team that's stacked in a CT All-Star game and finance them one day in the summer, one weekend, to go play versus one of the top teams in the nation. And just see how they do. We say we want to do it. Well, first let's come together and then ship that team to go play against an all-star team. And I don't mean paying all the
problem
expenses.
is right now,
pay the tournament fee, maybe
we're up against when we start the all-star games the 11th, Pop Warner starts the 14th.
But maybe they could play the following week on the 21st. Parents go take a trip on the weekend and go play in a YNC tournament.
I mean, if you feel that way, put them in the Canton game over there and see if they can win that tournament.
Where is that? What is that?
That's in Ohio, like around there, somewhere in that July area.
Maybe I'm gonna look at doing that.
Somewhere in that July area.
I'm gonna look at one of the all-star teams that's stacked, and I think I'm gonna try to
talk to Joel D1 Nation. There's options.
Right. I think I'm gonna try to send them, but I want them to play against a nationally ranked team. Listen, we're providing a platform for the state to come together. There should be no hate. We're not, ain't nobody Xing nobody out. Nobody has been like, join. Coaches, get your kids out to register. Some of y'all are telling kids don't register. That's hating on the game.
Yo, Jordan Lark, you at 9U this year for Mass? You at 9U for Mass this year? That's
hey, Jordan, hey, Jordan, that's actually a good idea. What if we take, let's say, the 10U team from both sides, Mass and Connecticut, and then take the top 25 from that and ship them out? And then we get
the New England Contacts
uniform.
I'm just baiting the conversation. You know I'm not into that type of thing. So therefore,
I'm serious. I'm not up here capping. I'm serious about. I'm serious about. But it starts with people coming together first. And people,
well, bro, we're always gonna get against, like you taught me a long time ago, heavy is the head that wears the crown. Like, as long as we're at the front of this, we're always gonna get the hate. But every year, the love always outweighs the hate. So if we not,
but you know what? I'm gonna tell you what bothers me. You do this too. I'm on the sideline often, and you know what I hear kids say, and this especially goes to the kids. Especially is said from kids who I know personally, coaches or people have told them, man, don't do that game. They stand on the sideline and all they talk about is, yo, what if I was playing? Yo, if I was like, you guys are taking
that's part of it too,
and personally killing kids' opportunities. When is a kid? Some of these kids will never play with a Teletron, never be able to run up and have the everybody in the stadium see them on the Teletron. They don't even do that all the time in high school, Tito. What high school in Connecticut do Teletrons? Do any of them do it?
No.
I mean, maybe if you get to college and you're lucky. All colleges don't have a Teletron where you get to run up and see it on the big screen. Like, and so we do these things to bring everybody together, and then you get spats of hate. I'm not doing the game because this. I'm not doing the game because that. Yo, make a concession for you as an adult. Make a concession for you as an adult for the greater good of the kids. That's all I'm asking. Everybody, both sides, Mass, Connecticut, stop hating. Stop being a hater. Stop being a Debbie Downer. Like, yo, for real. Then y'all start doing stuff like, I'm going on vacation. You be at home trying to watch the show.
Right, but then you get the other part. We should do our own thing. Well, if you could have, you would have, but you didn't. So therefore, this is what it is. 6 years. This is year 6. Year 6, we had a rough go at it this year. We had a rough go at it this year. We've had all types of things. The game still going on. We pivoted around.
And presidents should be sending it to their parents. Why wouldn't y'all want y'all kids to come rep your helmet in the All-Star game? Like, I don't understand. Like, am I missing something? Like, I'm not being funny, and it's not just because we throw it. Please tell me, what is it about the game? We had this conversation with high schools, Tito. We're open to the conversation to tell us what is the purpose of hating on the game. You never hear my name get announced at no All-Star game. So it's not about me. You don't hear, the general and above 140. You don't even hear that at the All-Star game, Tito. It's 100% about the kids. Literally a game that's actually about children. And the biggest myth, it needs to be about the kids. A game literally about kids that people hate on. Which tells me that it don't matter.
We hear the hate about when we let the coaches banner, but this is the one day a year we allow that. And trust me, it's friendly banner. Nobody here don't really like each other. Now, is there the disagreements with people? Of course. But for 6 years straight,
no
for
violence,
6 years straight,
all love.
It's always a good time.
And wherever we at, Tito and I always go out, always pay for food, always invite whoever that's around, pull up. We ain't never said, no, we don't really rock with them, so don't come. We always pull up. We always invite people out because we want everybody showing love.
Well, the game has gotten bigger over the last couple of years. Where last year we couldn't hang out. You didn't get out of there till midnight last year.
The last game ended at midnight. That ain't happening this year. So there is no 6U game this year, everybody. 7U will entail 6-year-olds can try out for 7U. There will be no 6U game. We're going to start at 7U. So there's one less game this year. All right, we're going to be starting at 7U. Just adds up. 7U to 13U. Just adds up. And that's what it is. And again, you already know we're bringing back the Teletron. So we're trying to do something super duper dope for the kids. We're going to bring back the Teletron. We're going to try to bring back as many things as we can from the past. The Teletron, if y'all don't know why it went away, it wasn't that we stopped doing it. It was sold. We basically found another company that decided that they can do it at a reasonable cost. So we're going to bring the Teletron back. I think it's going to be well received by the kids because I can tell you, Tito, one of the biggest hits was that Teletron. Yeah. If you're out there and you own a company or your company, they can run commercials on the Teletron. I got a package price to run commercials on the Teletron to advertise your business. Tap in with me. We can run commercials throughout the day. We can run it only during the game. We could do it however. The NEBCS 2026 games is here. With that being said, Tito, before we go, I need to do one thing.
Did we announce the location?
Huh?
Have we announced the location?
Yeah, we did. They know Bloomfield High School. I have been saying it. But I have not played the commercial up here. So we need to
play it. Let's go, baby.
We need to play the commercial. All right. Uniform reveal. That Met color crazy. Meriden, stand up. The Meriden football player. That's a New Haven football player.
Big Cam Davis.
Go to jail and tell. I say hits from myself. Post my bill. 12. Only bills from the cocktail. Got mail. Got no. That boy a trophy. I'ma put him on the shelf. This ain't no cheating.
All-Star game is July 11th, everybody. July 11th. And there you have it. This year. Hey, Jordan, why you ain't coaching this year, bro? You have to tell us why you ain't why you ain't coaching, Jordan. Let's wait for this answer. Go ahead. We waiting. You here. Tap in. Why you ain't coaching? It's your boy PH the Prez, Mr. Above 140, and I'm here with my co-host.
It's your boy, Coach Correa, the General, Bell City Broncos, 5th State Army.
Hey, Mass, yo, is grass. We got a fun-filled show tonight.
I met a boy today.
It's your boy, Coach Correa, the General, A60 Army.
She loving my style every time I'm
You ain't need more money, Tito. You could have just invited 6 or 8 you down to nationals.
I'm around. She got me
When certain people don't get their way or they feel slighted, they feel like they have a right to call us and voice their opinion. You don't.
The hood, we locked the
Clear. I've never removed a staff to allow a staff to move up.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Now everybody's a personal trainer. We know who the originals are, but now if you look, you can find them in every town.